We'll see where Ashton Jenney is, but he arrived at the NFL with high expectations. And that was the first-round pick made by the Raiders during the era, officially, of Tom Brady as a minority owner of the team. And he hasn't been able to go to many Raiders games because he works on the days that the Raiders play. And he's yet to work a Raiders game. But he worked a Raiders game last night, and I don't know which job is the side hustle. Is the Fox gig the side hustle to being the Raiders minority owner? Is the Raiders minority owner the side hustle to working for Fox? He's getting $37.5 million from the Murdochs to call games. But last night, he was in the booth. He was in his suit. He had the headset on. He looked uncomfortable. It looks like they were telling him through the headset that he's being investigated by Pablo Torre. That's how uncomfortable he looked in that moment. Like, why are they on me? Like, is there a way I can disappear? Can I sit back and sit low? It's always funny to watch the demeanor of the guys who know they're on TV. And watch, he notices that he's on, and he's like, see, and he's like, oh shit, sorry, and but that's but Devin, I mean, watch the moment he notices he's on the monitor. It's like, man, okay, here I am, I'm working. Oh man, so I've been one of the only ones that says this. I've noticed that others have said it in the aftermath of last night, and Miles Simmons made the best point last year when this all got started. Because I would submit to anyone, and let's strip away who it is. No broadcaster should be an owner. No owner should be a broadcaster. There should be a firewall there that is impenetrable and it's non-negotiable. If you own a team, you're not going to work as a broadcaster for all teams. If you're a broadcaster, you're not going to be allowed to own a team. And what Miles said last year is, it's impossible. Like Tom Brady, it's a given. And correct me if I'm wrong. Tom Brady wants to be the absolute best at everything he does. Absolute best at everything he does. How can you be the absolute best broadcaster and the absolute best owner of a team? It's impossible. They put restrictions on your ability to be the best broadcaster you can be because of the fact that you own a team. And you can't be the best owner of a team because you can only go to games that are played not on Sundays. Monday night game, boom, there he is, and look at what he's doing. And it's almost like people needed to see Tom Brady at a game with the headset, sitting with the coaches, and hear how he talks to Chip Kelly multiple times a week. Now, Pete Carroll tried to dispute that, but you know, they don't want to blow up his spot, but it's maybe that's the moment that people are going to be like, yeah, now we understand why it's a problem for this guy to be out there gathering information about players and coaches and teams that could be leveraged to the advantage of the Raiders, because we see what happens when he can go to a Raiders game. He's not sitting in the suite sipping Chardonnay and eating macadamia nuts. He's working the game.
Were you surprised that the Raiders spoke about what he did like so easily? Like I don't know. I guess I didn't expect to see when they cut to him. I didn't expect to see him with the coaches with a surface in front of him with a headset. I just didn't. I expected to see him in the owner's suite. You know, and again, I do assume he talks to many people on the staff. He's a wealth of knowledge, but I just didn't expect to see that. Do you think the Raiders were, like, I don't know, it surprised me that it was just so openly spoken about?
Well, it's just, here's the thing. It's openly done. That's what's so weird about it. Like I know those trophies behind you had a lot to do with you getting them. You did too. And I know he's your teammate and your friend, but you know, that's the problem. We tiptoe around these things that we shouldn't tiptoe around. Like, somebody needs to say, Tom, enough is enough. You can't do both. Pick one or the other. You can't do both. And I've been saying it for a year. And like for a year, I felt like I'm the asshole for pointing out the thing that's obvious. Like, I grew up at a time when conflicts of interest were a big deal. And he has a clear conflict of interest. And you see articles from people trying to say how it's not a conflict of interest. And if you bring it up, you get attacked. I got attacked for pointing it out. Like, we either have standards or we don't. And I understand we live at a time when maybe we don't have standards. But, man, you'd like to think that somebody at 345 Park Avenue would say, Tom, you can't do this. No one can do this. Sorry if you don't like it, but no one can do it. And I think Tom's attitude is, as evidenced by his I'm going to do it as long as I can get away with it. I'm going to do it until they tell me to stop. If they're not going to tell me to stop, why would I stop? But, I mean, think about it. And it kind of started to roll last night when people realized, oh, he's working the Cowboys-Bears game this weekend, and they play the Bears. Raiders play the Bears the next week. I mean, I raise it from the perspective of he's working the Chiefs game yesterday, and they play the Chiefs in week 7. They play them twice a year. That's their arch rival, for crying out loud. That's one of the first rivalries I became aware of as a kid, Raiders-Chiefs. And people say, you can pick all that up from watching film. No, here's what you can't pick up. You know what it's like when we're at a game? All the stuff. Who pops? Who do they really like? Who are the coaches that really know what they're doing? Who are the guys we should be trying to hire with the Raiders? Who are the players that I should be targeting in free agency? Whose ass should I kiss a little bit more than anyone else's? Because that may benefit me. And those are all things, as Raiders owner, he should be doing. He should be paying attention. Who are the guys that I want on my team? But as a broadcaster, that isn't part of his gig. That demonstrates a conflict of interest. That's what Roger, if you're listening, and I know you're not, but maybe somebody in the league office will listen to this and send it to you. Why are you letting this guy do it? This is the guy you suspended over a trumped-up football inflation scandal. And you're just letting him do this? And mark my words, Devin, and I'm going to shut up. Wait until the Raiders are good. When the Raiders are good, 95% of the calls to the league office from the teams are going to be, why are you letting this happen? And it's like, why did you keep your mouth shut when the seeds were planted and fertilized? I feel better now.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because, like you said, and we were all in a group text last night, and Ruthie Polinsky, who's a reporter in Chicago, who was with us in New England. And so I thought it was so interesting when she talked about it. Like, arguably the most competitive human being. Like, the most competitive dude ever is going to sit here, and now he's going to do, like you talked about, the Cowboys and Bears game in week 3 and be in those production meetings. And I think for people that don't know, the thing that's interesting about the production meetings are you see relationships in production meetings. Like, when I go to New England, I do their preseason games. If I'm in a production meeting with Josh McDaniels and we're talking about old times, we're relating players that he has now to maybe a former player. We're talking about maybe his kind of inside view on a player that I can maybe tell a good story about that guy, how he was one way and then he worked. Like, you're getting all of this information. And a lot of times, like you just said, you walk away feeling like, man, if the game was on the line, man, the offensive coordinator, when I talk to him, the ball's going to probably be in this guy's hands and he's going to that guy. Like, I walked away knowing, like, that's the guy to have it. And I think when you watch film, you can see, like, okay, the guy to have it, they drew this play up. But you can also watch him like, hey, I think this play's drawn up for this guy, and he just sees it and goes this way. But when you're in a meeting and you hear somebody talk about their players, it's a different feeling that you have. And again, I'm one of those guys that as a former player and watching what Brady is able to do, I think it's awesome. And I think, like you just said, if I'm Tom, you should go do it. Go do it until somebody tells you can't, because it's advantageous to you and where you invested money into the Raiders, and now you get to do the broadcasting, which you kind of signed up to do beforehand, and then you got ownership in the team. It kind of all came together, and it was on that spot right then and there. I think it's, like you said, it's a responsibility of the gatekeepers and the people who are supposed to, like they always say, protect the shield. It's their job to do that. And I think it's important for, if I'm Brady, like, you shouldn't change or do something different. You should go and do exactly what you want to do unless somebody tells you you can't.
Now, Now, look, I will say that I don't want to be unfair here. I'd like to think that he'd do the right thing. But if no one's going to stop you and you are competitive and all's fair, right? All's fair in love, war, and football. And we just want to win here. If you're going to let me take a competitive advantage, I'm going to take it. At a certain point, you have to be told by someone you can't do it. There are limits to what you can do. But I look at it this way, Devin. Let's flip it around. Tom Brady, partial owner of the Raiders, not involved in broadcasting. Peyton Manning, involved in broadcasting and partial owner of the Colts, okay? Anytime Peyton Manning would be assigned to a Raiders game, I guarantee you the message from Tom Brady to everyone in the organization would be, you will not talk to him, you will not look at him. If he glances your way, you treat him like Justin Herbert treated the media walking into the game last night. You have no interaction with him. We are telling him nothing because anything he says can and will be used against us and for his team. Because that's how you are effective in your role. That's what Tom Brady's doing. He's looking for anything he can to help the Raiders while he's getting paid by Fox. It's the best gig you can imagine. And NFL, I implore you to do the right thing here and tell him, pick a lane. I know it's kind of late, and I know Fox is going to say, man, what are we going to pay this guy $37.5 million per year to do? Do the UFL games? But sorry, they let this thing get to the point where it's not practical. It's a problem. People are realizing it. When the Raiders get good, that's when the teams are going to lose their minds. They should have lost their minds. They should have voted no last year when it was time. Without it, Tom, you want to own part of this team? You got to make a decision right now. You're going to work for Fox. You're going to own the team. You decide. It's up to you. Either one's fine with us. It's up to you. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.